Well, now that we've gotten it established that everything that's been happening in the framing story is definitely still happening in the palace out of the way. I mean, they couldn't resist it. They had kind of a clever thing going on. They're just like, no, we really gotta hammer it in right now, though. We gotta do it.
I don't understand. So this courthouse is
look, it's Persona 5.
Oh, is that trash?
Much like the game itself, we sometimes have to just spell it out.
Yes. I'm sorry.
Whatever. Like, I haven't done that a billion times over the course of this series. Look, we got like a lot of time to fill. Sometimes we be clever and then we stop being clever. Okay?
Yeah, well, it's a real, like, this is the 3rd episode, and we've got 3 more to go after this, and we're gonna do it all today.
Oh,
God help us.
Look, I like to have stuff done ahead of time, but I don't know. It's like I told you, tap out at any time you want.
No, we're not tapping out. We're getting this stupid series done.
The actual palaces, I made it clear after the Futaba Palace that it's just like, I'm not going to be doing the Japanese transcription thing. So these things can get pumped out like you wouldn't even imagine.
Yeah, Goro has a hilarious persona, I gotta say.
I love his stupid outfit. Look, I told you, Tengu mask. And then also he's wearing like a white marching band outfit.
Yeah.
It's like, not as flashy as it was back in the intro. Like, I feel like it's less saturated or something. I don't know. Oh God, why?
It would be funny if they like had a budget thing where they're like, we can't make this as nice as the we had in the intro.
But I still get the shoulders, right? Yes, you still get the shoulder brooms.
Is that what those are called?
I have no idea. I'm sure it's probably something. I think there's probably a real name for it.
I think they're called epaulettes because that's French for shoulder, but I don't know. Or yeah.
Yeah, pauldrons I know, but those are like, that's armor. It's not. Yeah, so we got to do the explanation yet again. There we are. There we go. Also, there was something that, like, I didn't know, I wasn't paying attention if they already said it. It's just like Morgana did say, this is what Goro thinks a rebel looks like. And it's like, oh wait, is that how it works?
That's kind of endearing.
That's one hilarious for like Anne and Ryuji. And, well, I mean, like, main character got out of it, okay, like Futaba.
Yes.
Like, main character, Haru, they got a good idea, but, like, that's what Makoto thinks a rebel looks like.
Yeah, they are epaulettes. It looks like that's how you say it, epaulettes. Like, you just the schwa in the middle there.
For the amount of French games that I played, you'd think I would be able to pronounce stuff better, but...
Well, I mean,
Flashback.
I think
we just went through Flashback, for God's sake.
I think in French it's actually like epaulette, but in English it's epaulette, and yes, it is these exact things.
Okay. Yeah, they're not called shoulder brooms.
No, the flexible metal epaulettes are referred to as shoulder scales, and so yeah,
so they might.
Yeah, so maybe shoulder brooms are, yeah.
That's how you do. You know that motion where you sweep your shoulder. No, there's nothing here. There's nothing there.
Yeah, shoulder broom. I'm gonna see if that's a real word.
Yeah, it's like I don't know. I just remember the intro being a lot flashier. I mean, yeah, it looked like this, but
I did search for shoulder brooms, and epaulette is the 3rd result, but it also says it doesn't include brooms. So, okay.
Well, then I don't know.
Probably a common search result.
Anyway, I do notice here that I feel like some of this dungeon might be a little bit, at least at the very beginning here, might be like a little bit simpler. I feel like this might be the first dungeon they worked on, because that was the intro to the game.
Yeah, this is kind of, I don't want to say underwhelming, but very simple so far.
I think they cleaned it up more for the intro, because I swear it was a lot brighter and a lot, like, wackier looking.
I agree. And see, the thing is, I'm somebody who really doesn't have a ton of preconceptions about this, because I really don't pay attention to this game at all. So, like, I remember, though, the intro scene was very distinctive. It was very interesting. A lot was going on there. I remember, like, the lights and the lighting was very weird. Remember that? Like, I know that, the way that the light was playing.
Maybe it's just that it's less colorful right now.
It feels less colorful, for sure.
I don't know. Well, anyway, hey, we're here.
I believe you do have like a playable scene in the casino in that original, like where you do get the jumping.
It was pretty short, but yeah, there was a fight, and then there was basically what we were doing right there. Mm-hmm. Oh boy, we get our first look at Zainajima, which is, and like the Kamoshida line of stuff.
Very over the top. I do like that we've got these Goro and Zainajima, like their outfits are very ridiculous in different ways.
The main character looks great. Haru looks great. Everybody else looks like a real jabroni whenever they go into the... Yes, and that includes the villains. The funny thing is that like Kaneshiro was the wackiest in real life and the most normal, aside from being purple in the metaverse.
I love like Goro's face mask thing. That's so like...
Look at it in the bottom right corner too and everything. It's like, how is this really how you're gonna be going around? God damn. with the spiky collar like you're tied to Kimmy and everything.
Yeah.
You know, I'll admit I do like the look of having really heavy eyeshadow, but come the fuck on. So if you were wondering, is Najima gonna look like a jabroni like every other one of the shadows? Yep. And the back look was not just for show. She can also teleport, which is a more impressive ability than every other shadow up to this point.
So this is actually a pretty cool looking room. I like this elevator.
I do think the casino gets better as we get farther into it.
Okay, that's good to know.
It's just, I do also think that this might have been the first palace they made.
It seems we'll be able to use this elevator to reach higher floors. You think?
Once again, this is still the plot part, so I had to include it. Look, I know. This is like watching Futaba fix an elevator sort of thing, where it's just like, it's just padding, but look... We're just gonna go into the English version after this episode.
I think you can actually use doors to access new rooms.
Oh my god. Well, at least we still haven't gotten the whole like Makoto telling us that technicals are a thing that exists in the game yet. But hey, never forget though, this is our first time in the palace, so we need to like book it out of here the second we get into a fight.
Yeah, I do think we need to use our skills against the weak points of the enemy. It's not just randomly picked.
Oh my god! Oh, I still remember. I don't know the part where the entire despair that we fell into in the last episode is something to be said. But it's like, never forget that it is the repetition. It is the fucking repetition, man, that kills me more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. If you do,
so it's like I do feel like for the rest of the series.
If you establish something once and you do a good job with it... Oh, sorry, I think we're having some minor audio issues here. But yeah, if you establish something once, you do a good job with it, it's not as big a deal. Like, the problem with this game is that they repeat things so many times that it just becomes dumb, you know? It becomes insulting.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm making the reference. I'm doing it. Say something once.
No.
Oh, say it
again. Go ahead. What reference are you making?
You know, Psycho Killer, man, for Talking Heads.
Oh, okay.
Okay, there we go. I did it. There's our Talking Heads reference. Don't worry, once in a lifetime we'll make it back, I'm sure, in the next 5 minutes.
Yeah, same as it ever was.
Same as, yeah, exactly. 5 minutes was maybe a bit generous.
That was like 5 seconds, I think. Okay. So.
Well, anyway, Osei. That's classic character.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to make him the thumbnail for the episode.
Is that
the audience we're trying to go for now? Yep. Fucking hell yeah, that's the audience we're going for.
Now, is that a new spread?
Oh my god, he's got an A on his belt. The big dumb A attaché case that he carries everywhere is one thing. Oh my god, it says Robin Hood on his big dumb bow. Oh boy.
That's wonderful.
Oh, yo, seriously though, Goro he's got a lightsaber. Goro has been a treat this entire game.
Yes, yes.
It's shocking how it's like, of course, Ryuji is the OG, and that's always going to be the case. But Goro really has shot up in my mind so much over the course of him being in here.
So
especially now that he's a playable character.
I have a question about Fetish Chester the cheetah here.
Go on.
Is that an SMT sprite, or is that a new character just for the game?
Oh, that is absolutely classic SMT, looking the exact same as he did all the way back in OG Megaten.
Okay, good.
Osei is, he usually appears around this point in the game, and he's usually a good, let me think, is it Windcaster? I'm a fan. Let's just say that.
Yeah. It's a really distinctive, yeah. It's like that.
Fetish Chester Cheetah.
The Dean. Yeah, I hope this doesn't awaken anything in me.
Again, thumbnail. Wait, we can't keep going on more now. We gotta leave. Anyway, if you're wondering, Goro is sort of the he's the odds and ends character. He's got light and curse magic, blessing and curse magic, and just kind of like a big attack and an almighty attack. So he doesn't really fit into the usual sort of he also doesn't really fit into this frame very well, but he doesn't really fit into the usual sort of like archetypes of characters. He's the other guy.
He's glue guy. He's miscellaneous.
Yeah. That's the thing is, light and dark magic, curse and blessing magic in the past games were all about like instant kill attacks, and at best you would get like percentage damage attacks. But here it's just like you can also just have regular attack for bless and curse, which makes it a little bit less like specific of an element, but still usually you're still like usually trying to go for instant kill attacks with him.
Yeah, I gotta say, having Goro in this group chat is making me realize that Goro is the only one with a real well-defined character. Like, just relatively speaking, like, I'm not saying like the only character necessarily, but like certainly the only one with actual like motivation and stuff. Like,
speaking
of which, yeah, Mishima.
I mean, Ryuji, I think he is admirable in the way that he's probably the most excited about doing stuff, but he doesn't have plans. He doesn't know what he's doing. He just wants to do it.
And he kind of, as much as he does have enthusiasm, he's very much like, he doesn't really have like, he's just kind of enthusiastic about whatever's happening, or angry or about what's happening, or frustrated.
It's a very endearing character trait, but yeah, it doesn't really do too much in terms of, take a look at the bottom right. By the way.
I love that, yeah. I love that because it gives us a window into Mishima without even really saying anything.
Yeah. I was thinking it's just like, he's going to be the one to sell us out. I don't know, man. Well, besides, this doesn't actually sell us out in the real world. You would have to have access to the metaverse, unless that's her cognition that somebody you know how it all works.
yeah, but like, I mean, just like more like, even like Morgana should be like a paladin type, because like she's the kind of like class rep type. Like, she should have more of, Makoto. I'm not talking about Morgana.
That was actually what I was about to bring up too, where it's just like Makoto, you would think, but it's like the most she's done in the past entire story arc is set up Goro to fucking school them.
Yeah, and like Goro really seems like the real paladin here. Like, he's got a plan. He's, and again, no character there. Like, Makoto has kind of an arc, but that's not the same as having like a character, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, she has to be less judgmental.
I've been reflecting.
Yeah, they're two very similar characters. I remember that we talked about this before, where it's just like, I would get rid of pretty much everybody except for like Goro and Makoto, but combo them into one character, and like Ryuji.
Yeah, and like, okay, so Haru and
Morgana
Yusuke,
in the past, but like, I don't know.
It's one thing if you have like a passive character that also has like ambitions, but it feels like Haru and Yusuke are just useless. They don't do anything. They don't add anything to the game. And yeah, yep.
Do you? I'm not
and
sure
and does one thing, as we've seen in the anime cutscenes.
Yeah, you could really pare this down to like 4 really good characters. Let's see who else. Yeah, and then
replace main character with
Futaba
Mishima.
has like she's kind of like a technical character. I could see having that just for narrative convenience, like she can get you out of situations because she has like these technical powers.
Yeah, she's like she's the utility character, but I feel like she hasn't done. I mean, aside from throwing in some Big Bang Theory style scenes, hasn't really done too much aside from that.
Yes, he is quite promising.
Manic
It's like it's not the worst.
Dream Big Bang Theory scenes.
And I will be sure to contact everyone
Yeah.
if the investigation.
Is that another boat of the takoyaki from the school festival?
All right.
I would genuinely love if that's intentional and it's just gonna become a running gag for the rest of the game. That it's just like they somehow keep getting it.
Oh, hey.
Who knows?
By the way, I think this is going to be this is a casino entrance, but it was actually a courthouse building.
Oh, really? I wasn't paying attention. Is this supposed to be a courthouse?
Yeah, it's a courthouse, but I guess in the metaverse it's a casino maybe, or I don't know.
What is that? How that works? Look, I don't really understand how cognition works. If only the characters would explain it to me.
Well, let me tell you about cognitive science for a few minutes here.
Actually, can you tell me about cognitive science?
No, I can't. It's all stupid to me.
Nobody can. It's something to do with hearts.
Well, you're gonna have the eye is sort of the window to the soul.
Yo, that's already more thought than they put into what exactly cognitive science is.
Well, you think people have emotions, and emotions can be changed by cognitions, and
Okay, yes. I mean, that is pretty much the extent. It's like there's something to do with them discovering the I guess it's supposed to be the science of realizing that psychology can be an actual physical, like, liminal space that you can explore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how exactly Wakaba and Maruki figured that out, but they did.
By the way, is the concept of mental palaces, does that originate with, like, because I've heard of, like, memory palaces. Does that originate with Carl Jung?
I don't
mind palaces?
think so, but I remember, like, making that same observation, like, God, even before you joined the series. It's like, is that the joke? Is that the joke? Is it supposed to be a memory palace, and that's why they're called palaces? Maybe?
Uh-huh. Well,
I don't know.
Like
I don't know how widespread that concept is.
Oh, it looks like it goes back, like, the Mind Palace goes back to, like, Greek and Roman, or at least Roman, ancient Roman, yeah, like, it goes back to Cicero, at least.
Oh, okay. Well, that's, yeah, that is way longer ago. I always felt like that was like some sort of like 50s sort of deal, where it's just like, thinking about memory and how to improve it. Like the whole liminal space as a way to remember things well, especially, kind of going back to the whole like impetus for the series. It's just like, that's something I tried to do when I was doing like kanji study and everything like that.
Yeah.
Didn't work, but I gave it an attempt.
Mm-hmm.
Let's keep going.
And now here we are.
Yeah.
It's like, I really do think that the idea of like throwing, of like this being a Carl Jung themed RPG is, that's one of the things that really endeared me to the series from the very beginning.
Very,
but it's like, let's be honest here,
ambitious, yeah.
They don't do enough with it.
Yeah.
They try, but we've made that observation with Maruki, where it's just like all he's doing is just trying to rediscover psychology.
Yeah. And it's like that.
It's like, you guys, they really need to get like an expert in here or something, like a consultant.
Or somebody who can bullshit a lot better about this kind of thing, like make it more convincing. Like the problem with Maruki is that it's so transparent. Like it's clearly like, okay, you've never heard of psychology, you're independently rediscovering it. Like, what game is great for that? It's the Zero Escape games. They do a great job.
Oh yeah.
Like
Uchi Kotsuki?
Yeah,
whoever that guy, they should have had him as like a consultant for just like, okay, here's how we're gonna bullshit some dumb shit about like the collective unconsciousness and how it works.
Yes.
He would know.
So it's Kotaro Uchikoshi.
Uchikoshi, okay.
Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because it's like go get exchanging the yolks of eggs in there. That's what we need. That's from AI.
Okay.
The consortium project. What the hell is that called?
I don't know.
Now I will say that it's just like he does kind of lean on the same tropes when it comes to other games. It's just like after you played 999, you do kind of know what's gonna happen in future games. Unfortunately, the Somnium Files, you do kind of know what he's gonna do in future games. It's like once you get the twist on the first one, he does kind of try to redo but it's like I still think it's pretty entertaining.
I thought I've only played the first 2 games. I thought the second one was clearly like it was the same formula, but he did a lot of good stuff with it, and it was overall like more complete vision than was in the first game. But yeah, I totally see what you're saying.
It's the Metal Gear principle, where it's just like, or the Dark Souls principle, where it's just like it's the same game except more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although it's just like, I don't know, I think Metal Gear and of course Souls games do differ enough, but it's like when I say that, I think people that know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a set of narrative techniques and moods like that you learn to appreciate. I guess is the word elan for that? I don't know if that feels like a big word.
Perhaps
$5 word that means what I'm trying to say, but
hey, like we've never thrown in $5 words in these series before. Taciturn.
Yeah.
Most recently.
The mise en scène. Or the mise en scène. I don't know.
Mise en scène. It's like mise en scène, right?
I don't know.
The thing is, I watch like streamers and videographer people that do know French, and they've said it before, and I've already forgotten.
Okay. Yeah, me too. We are not liberal arts majors, unfortunately. This is one of those times where that comes in.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's just like that would probably help a lot more for what we're doing right now, but at the same time, we have a more technical background, which is fucking bizarre as all hell.
Yes.
What are you gonna do though? Look, I like to think that it just makes it so that you get a more outsider art of this is the best I got.
Yeah. Like that's the
Please
biggest
don't stop
word we
watching.
know is outsider art.
Hey, I use outsider art all the time though. I love games like that.
Yeah.
Please go watch Bunny Must Die, I guess.
That was fun.
From a bunch of people who definitely do not know how to make a video game.
I watched the last
but
episode.
goddamn, did they try?
Okay, so anyway, I like that because it had like that. I only watched the last episode, but it had this ridiculously contrived like meta plot thing. It was pretty fun.
You watch the rest of the game. It's all so. And I mean, it extends to the gameplay too, which is I think what the difference that makes that between like a meme game and a shitpost game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like when you get it's like we do a little trolling around here, but when the trolling actually extends to the gameplay itself, it's like, okay.
So what's going on with this area? I've been kind of like, this is just the security.
This is the employee back rooms.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Like I said, it kind of starts out uninteresting. I think it becomes better with when we get a little bit farther into the palace.
Okay.
Because I think that this is the first one they made. Just straight up.
It's possible. And I do, this is kind of weird because it's kind of like dirty and messy. And it's like, if you're going to like describe somebody's psychology with a building, I think that's an interesting choice.
Actually, that would be. They never really quite. Futaba would probably be the closest, but even then, that was just Tomb.
Yeah.
Sort of cyber Tomb, but they didn't lean on the cyberness enough until like literally the last area.
Mm-hmm. And I do think like the idea of, and I don't know if we're gonna have to see how they actually do with this, but the idea of somebody who's very orderly and precise being essentially a casino, and somebody who's obsessed with, fair play and stuff is kind of an interesting touch.
It's like we'll see like a little bit more of this later, but it's just like I wouldn't really say it's fair play so much as just like seeing the justice system as like a gamble.
Okay.
And it's more like being disillusioned with the entire system.
Okay. So that's an interesting starting point.
Yeah, like no, Nope. Well, much like the rest of the palaces, I think they knew what they were doing when they were designing it.
Yeah.
Did they do it in the plot? A little bit.
A little bit.
I mean, look, they did it enough that I could recognize
except,
it.
as you said, like in the last episode, where you didn't say this, that would actually be a retcon, but like they're retconning the hero's journey, and that's so. It's such an offensive storytelling method because it's like you don't even just tell it in the story. You just kind of treat it as a fait accompli. Like you treat it like it
in retrospect, it's the hero's journey. It's like no.
What was that?
In retrospect, it's the hero's journey.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just... It's like, no, tell the story in the game. Don't insult our intelligence by pretending it already happened.
Well, that's... God,
but yeah, interesting. Like, I do like that the palace is like, you've got this dirty room, but now you've got these cards flying. I do think that's a neat little touch.
It's actually a pretty cool touch in the way that it's just like, yeah, like the back rooms are filthy, but like the presentation in the actual like casino itself is a lot more interesting.
Yeah.
It's like there's thought put behind, and the idea again that it's just like it's supposed to be that the justice system is a gamble and you're literally cheating your way to the top, basically. Is like
we're looking for.
It's again like the idea of the distortion in her heart is made very obvious in a cool way through just the environmental storytelling alone.
Yeah. And especially given like what little I know about the Japanese justice system is that it's very, very like you're some like 99% of people who go to a trial are declared guilty. So there's a lot of like,
and that is actually like exactly they already established that with like the special investigations unit that Saya is supposed to be part of.
Yeah,
and she is a prosecutor. By the way, Taro Tanaka is basically the Japanese equivalent of calling somebody John Smith.
Okay.
if you didn't get the joke there.
Okay.
Because that is, it's an absurdly common name, which is weirdly like not localized at all. A little bit of the game. I don't know.
Crow, get rid of it next time you see a garbage can.
Why me?
Again, if you didn't have that one fucking scene, this is too obvious even earlier.
Oh.
So you're telling me now that Akechi has access into the palace, even out, because otherwise main character would be the only one that could actually get up to multiple floors and be able to say, I don't know, talk to Sainajima's shadow.
Let's hurry on.
Yeah, I wonder where they're going with the plotline right now. But it's like, oh, don't worry. They already established that they wanted to do something secretive with Futaba. Okay, yeah.
Very well.
Again, this is like, that's reasonably subtle compared to a lot of the other things in this game, but it's not escaping my gaze.
Well, as somebody who's barely paying attention to this game, I definitely, it went past me, so.
No. I don't know. I thought that scene at least was... But it's like, again, they also had the entire scene before where it's just like, okay, Futaba, this is our secret plan. Big conspicuous flashing white scene transition.
Yeah, and so now we're kind of, this is a pretty weird, like, location because, like, yeah, this is very much like, we're kind of into customer facing. Is this still in the employee? Or is this more...
No, this is definitely the employee thing because they got, like, the bins around here and everything.
Yeah, okay.
It's just like, it's not...
Okay.
Again, it's like once we get to like the here we got like the card to get into the next area. It's still like less bombastic than like a lot of the other areas that we've seen before have been. Okay, and here we're back in the first area. That's it.
Okay, that's episode 1.
Not the most interesting start, but that's again why I think that this is like the first palace they made.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Or at least this section was like where they were testing out stuff. Because we also saw things like empty rooms and stuff where we were like ambushing shadows from behind, which doesn't really appear anywhere else in the game and says to me stuff like,